This is Carl J. Cox. Welcome to the Measure Success podcast, where we talk with top leaders about effective strategies that inspire success. Very excited to talk about our guest today. We have John and Mark X. Cronin. We will talk about them in just a moment. Just one of the things we're excited about that we're doing to help serve you, entrepreneurs and business owners out there, is our new CPA firm, 40 Accounting, where we do bookkeeping, tax reporting and analysis, to help make sure that you don't have to worry about those things, and we can get it done for you, and most likely with great service as well. So if you're interested in learning more about that, go to 40accounting.com. We're going to do a quick little intro here for John and Mark, and they're going to share, if you get a chance to go in and watch on YouTube as well. These are really special people. We had them on the $4 million strategies. After going through them, I was like, you guys have to be on our main podcast. So John Cronin and his father, Mark X. Cronin, are the co-founders of John's Crazy Socks, a social enterprise that sparks happiness through vibrant, unique socks while championing inclusivity and philanthropy. Founded in 2016, the company has inspired by John's love for colorful socks and its desire to show the abilities of people with disabilities, including himself. John, if you are not watching, he's a brilliant man, and he has Down syndrome as well. With over half their employees have differing abilities, the company demonstrates a commitment to creating meaningful opportunities for all. And known for their motto, spreading happiness, John's Crazy Stocks donates 5%, love it, 5% of their earnings to the Special Olympics and supports various other charities with a mission to have joy and advocacy and success. John and Mark, welcome to the Measure Success podcast.
Thank Carl. I thank you so much to have it on your podcast. I'm really excited.
Carl, thank you for having us back on. We enjoyed the conversation on the $4 million strategy. So to be here with you now is awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And so let's kind of start from the beginning, because I think it's always kind of interesting to hear the entrepreneurial story. And you are an entrepreneur story, and you've been going nearly 10 years here. You're getting close to your 10-year mark, right? And tell us, how did you get into this? What inspired you to like, hey, we gotta start a company?
Well, people out there, I know a lot of you in the audience are business owners. Origin stories matter. So I'm glad you asked, right? Because that gives you your DNA. Right. So our story, you want to tell them the full story? The full story.
Okay.
Our story starts in a small log cabin in the woods.
No.
It started on suburban Long Island outside New York City in a town called Huntington back in the fall of 2016. And where were you?
I was at Huntington High School. I copied my last school.
So John was like everybody else, trying to figure out what comes next. And what were you looking at?
I look at job program at school. I can't find crayons that I like.
Couldn't find anything he liked. And this is unfortunately a typical situation. Only 1 in 5 people with a disability in this country are employed. It's awful. But John here is a natural entrepreneur.
Yes.
You didn't see a problem. You saw an opportunity. If you couldn't find a job, what'd you say?
I said, I want to create one. I want to make one. I told my partner, I want to pay with him. And nice fellas that have been together.
I'm a lucky man. I've got
yes, you are.
Right. I've got 3 sons. This is one I could work with.
Yes.
So, here's another part of it. You entrepreneurs out there, you're our tribe. We all have a lot of ideas. They're not all necessarily good ideas. So what was one of your ideas?
One of them is a food truck. I saw a great movie called Chef, on John Favreau. It's a new movie about a food truck, about a father's budding.
Right. So a food truck sounded fun. Everybody loves eating from a food truck. And we're thinking, what could we make? Where would we put it? But we ran into a problem.
We can't cook.
And we can't cook. So it wasn't going to be a food truck. But then, right before the U.S. Thanksgiving, John had his eureka moment.
I did. I want to sell crazy socks. Why socks? It's fun, it's colorful, it's creative. It's always going to be me. I want to create socks my whole life.
So we thought this. If John loved those socks that much, surely other people would too, and we could find those people. And here's a challenge that we all face. You can do a lot of research and see, is there a market? What's the competition like? But at the end, you have to try it. So we went the lean startup route. John, you already had the name
I did.
and the idea to sell online.
Yeah.
So we built a simple website on the Shopify platform, got a little bit of inventory. We're bootstrapping. So the only marketing we did was set up a Facebook page, and I would take out my cell phone and we made videos. And who do you think was in those videos?
Dad, I am.
You are, right?
Yeah, I sock, but sock.
Socks, and socks. And we noticed people started sharing those videos. And what day did we open?
We opened on December 9th, 2016.
It was a Friday, and we didn't know what to expect. But that first day, we got what felt like a flood of orders. We got 42 orders. And most of them were local, which made sense, right? We're in town of Huntington. That's where we lived. You're in the school.
I love Huntington.
So how did we deliver those first orders?
At home deliveries, we get red boxes, put the stock in the box, put a big new arrow, and put a bag on the kitchen.
We put candy. We got bags of
And candy.
Hershey's Kisses and poured them into boxes, loaded up the car, drove around, and you knocked on doors delivering socks.
I did.
How'd the customers respond?
Our customer loved the stock, and our customer loved me.
They loved you. Oh, you're being modest, huh?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going to tonight.
But, it gets dark and cold here in December in New York. So we're driving up. He's getting out. I'm watching him knock on the door and go inside. I'm sitting out in the car freezing. What's he doing? He's inside drinking hot chocolate, taking pictures, telling stories, having a grand old time. But at the end of that month, really 2 weeks up until Christmas, we shipped 452 orders, and we knew we had something. We didn't know how big it would grow. We didn't know how fast it would grow, because you learn by doing. So now let's jump ahead, right? We celebrate our 8th anniversary. We're in our 9th year. We've now shipped over 475,000 packages to 89 different countries. Been able to create 34 jobs. 22 of those are held by people with different abilities. Our Giving Back program has donated over $800,000 to our charity partners like the Special Olympics, National Down Syndrome Society. And you like to say, we're just getting started. So there you go. But you see, we could talk about our mission to spread happiness and our 5 pillars, the values we built the business on. But all of those were present on day one. Over time, we articulated them more, you fleshed them out more. But everything is there in that origin story.
So amazing beginning, first of all. I just love that. I love how you had the personal touch. I love how John went door to door, Sharon, good for you, John. I love that. You went door to door, providing, creating a connection, right, with your customers and your new clients from early days. Now I'm curious, here you are, and now you said you've shipped 475,000 packages. How do you create that connection today, right? Because you can't go hand deliver clients, but obviously you're still growing and still making a difference. So share with me how to make sure you're creating that bonding and connection like you did in the past.
Okay, well, let's start with the overall mission, spreading happiness. And what do you say are the keys to happiness?
It's gratitude and to others.
And this really drives us. We do a lot of public speaking and keynotes and stuff. And you meet with a lot of businesses or a lot of people, and I'll ask them how many people have participated in a mission statement writing exercise, which are usually awful, right? Because you come up with these words that no human has ever put together, and you put it on the wall and no one pays attention. So for us, it starts with that drives everything we do. We talk about spreading happiness all the time. And I referred, we had 5 pillars. One of them is let's make it personal. So we're looking to create relationships, not just chase transactions. We're looking to create customer experiences. And that drives us. That becomes manifest in everything we do. So here are some examples. We sell online, we're an e-commerce business. To this day, here's what you get if you get a package from us. First, the package is this brightly colored package with John's face on the outside. So it stands out in your mailbox or in your mail. You open it up, you get your socks. You get that handwritten note from John. And on the flip side of that is the story of John's crazy socks. And on the packing slip, you'll see a sticker with the name and the picture of the person who packed your order. So you're not just getting socks sent to you. You're getting this little dose of happiness. And we're thinking about this all the time. So I'll give you 2 examples on it. One day, one of our happiness packers comes to us and says, we sell socks for diabetics, and yet we're sending them candy. What's wrong with this picture? So now we have a supply of sugar-free candy. And if you order socks for diabetics, that's what you get. If you order from a military base, you get a different package. And I'll give you another example. So when we started, what candy were we putting in?
Hershey's Kisses.
Hershey's Kisses. Everybody loved it. You'd open it up, you could smell the chocolate. Until we got the email from the woman in Florida saying, you can't be sending chocolate to the South in the warm weather. So we moved on from that, and we wound up settling on Skittles. We sent out over 300,000 packages of Skittles. And
Wow.
I kept knocking on different doors at the Mars Corporation to say, we should really collaborate. And eventually we spoke to the right, poobah, the right C-level executive who said, oh, this all sounds great. But, we're already partners with NASCAR and the NFL. We're not looking for more partnerships. It's fair. But I'm no longer going to buy Skittles. So we looked for something else, and our Lord of the Socks, that's who runs our warehouse and our fulfillment, he found a candy place with lollipops. I said, that's a great idea. And we were paying 26 cents a bag of Skittles. Lollipops are about 5 cents. So this is simple. We put at least 2 lollipops in every package. And why 2 lollipops?
One for a customer, one for a friend.
A customer and one to give away to a friend. Well, our strategic partners looked at this and said, no way. It's crazy sending out candy. And on top of that, 1 lollipop will be enough. And if people complain, we can rethink it. Well, one thing became clear. If I got to explain to you why 2 lollipops and not 1, we're not on the same page. But that's just an example. If you're constantly looking for ways, what are our customers? What do they want? How do we make them happy? So, it's in customer service. If you call us, you never get voice jail. You're going to talk to a human. We don't listen in on those conversations. We don't have scripts. We're going to take care of you. It's that personal relationship. And, and here's a thing for us. The old line, the customer is always right. Nonsense. The customer can be dead wrong. But we're not in the business of being right. We're in the business of making people happy.
Yeah.
So we don't argue. Here, we're going to do whatever it takes. We give a 2-year guarantee on our socks. Who thinks of that?
Wow.
And we don't need the socks back. You just tell us for any reason you're not happy, we replace them. We'll send you a refund. We're going to take care of you. Oh, and by the way, our refund rate is less than 2% of our revenue.
Wow.
Take care of people. So
Yep.
that's a long-winded answer. you just keep looking and finding ways. And by the way, yes, we ship around the world, but John is still doing home deliveries.
Yeah.
Oh,
Back to
no
the
kidding.
meeting before, if we get an order between our office and home, our
Mhm.
warehouse and home, you're still doing a home delivery. We got one to do tonight, right?
Yes, I do.
And you love it.
Yes.
Wow. I love what's brilliant about your business. Not only is it just makes you feel good, which is part of your goal, which is part of spreading joy, but there are some brilliant business principles that you have put together in this, right? I've just been writing down along the way. I mean, I just love that two lollipops versus one, right? Meaning it's in partnering with the people who believe and understand why, right? That's an important thing. So sometimes we'll try to quote unquote save money, right, on a certain transaction, but we're not recognizing what are we really trying to accomplish here, right? So I love that. Loved how you, once again, you said at the very end there, still doing at time to time custom deliveries, still creating connection. Obviously, you're doing something like this, a podcast, right, to help spread out and share. And by the way, if my notes are correct here, um, let's see here. Good Morning America, TEDx. You've done a meeting with President George H.W. Bush. I mean,
We,
these are not small meetings. You've had a lot of amazing
we've had,
opportunities to go through this.
we've been incredibly fortunate. But part of it is we've gotten, we've been very fortunate with the business. We've gotten a lot of media exposure and viral events. So people will listen to us. That creates an obligation on our part
Mm.
to speak up and to advocate for people with different abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, we've done 2 TEDx talks. We've spoken twice now at the United Nations. We've been invited back this year to speak there. We've testified twice before Congress. Nowadays, we have to add, we were not subpoenaed. Uh, you know, we, we meet regularly with elected officials. We've been on the Today Show, Good Morning America, Fox and Friends, PBS, the BBC, the Canadian Broadcast Company. They all like John.
Yeah.
We have our own podcast, the Spreading Happiness Podcast. But look, you invited us on your podcast. How fortunate are we? And then you get to tell the story. And every time we do, we think it changes people's minds about what a business can do, about the impact a business can have, and about what people with different abilities can do. It,
Now, Mark, and John, Mark, you have an exciting new announcement of a new partnership you mentioned before the podcast that will be coming out here in 2025.
who are we partnering with now?
Oh, I'm really excited.
Tell them.
PBA, Professor Bowler. I'm really excited.
The Pro Bowling Tour. We are now making the official socks for the Pro Bowling Tour. We're working with 2 ambassadors there, Packy Hanrahan and Kyle Tripp, who are awesome. The first event for the new year takes place next weekend in Delaware. We're going to be down at that. John is going to roll out the ceremonial first ball.
Yay.
John's been bowling for years in Special Olympics. Every year we do a bowling outing with our company. So this is a natural fit. They got the same spirit as us, right? The Pro Bowlers Tour is like the anti-NFL. In the NFL, you got to wear a helmet. If you celebrate too much, we throw a penalty flag. And then in the press conferences, we just want you to repeat cliches. Don't really say anything. The Pro Bowlers Tour, everybody is right there. They encourage the individuality of their bowlers. They want them to let their freak flags fly, and that's us, right? With our socks, go express what you're thinking and feeling. Go express your personalities. So we're really excited about this, huh?
Yes.
It's going to be great fun.
Now, you did something bold, and I don't know if you want to talk about this or not, but I thought it was interesting. One of the, of course, wealthiest men in the world. You you sent back an email which went viral, or text a message. I think it was a message to Elon Musk. You want to share about that? Because I thought that was a pretty powerful
Well,
comment, and I think
listen,
it's important in the big context of communication.
again, it comes back to some people will listen to us. Now, we're very focused on our set of issues. You don't have to comment on everything, you don't have to have an opinion on everything. And yes, Elon Musk is both one of the most powerful and influential people in the world. As an entrepreneur, he employs tens of thousands of people, and he's looked up to by millions of entrepreneurs. He owns X, and he's one of the most prominent voices on X. Look at the influence he has. And he's done some amazing things. But one of the things he has done, he's done it particularly recently, is he repeatedly uses the R word, which is a word that people weren't saying anymore. And so I wrote to him and said, it wasn't really calling him out as much as calling him in and talking about the impact that word has. Because it dehumanizes people, it denigrates people. It came about at a time when if you were born with a different ability, if you were born like John, you would have been shunned. You would have been institutionalized. You didn't have access to an education. You didn't have access to jobs. Thankfully, those days are past. But we can't revive this word. So we called and invited him. Come visit us. Come meet John. Come meet our colleague. Come see what people can do. John's an entrepreneur, just like Elon. Now, you got fewer zeros on the numbers in your bank account, but so we felt it was appropriate and necessary to stand up. And again, it's not to make him look bad. It's not to attack. It's to say, let's be in this together. Look what we have in common. And yes, that's now gotten hundreds of thousands of views on social media and newspapers writing about it, and TV stations reporting on it. And hopefully it just makes people aware. We're not the woke police. We're not wagging our fingers at people. But, we've noticed a change. There was a time that if you started using the R word, people would be silent and gasp. Like you would know this was something not to do.
Yeah.
And now people are feeling emboldened. We got more of a course of dialogue going on. And we're about unity.
That's right. Okay, so we're near the wrap up here, and I like to ask them my more traditional questions, if you may. So, how do you two measure success in your business?
Well, we have metrics like everybody else, but they're metrics that align with our mission. So, we're looking, in e-commerce, there are three big numbers: traffic, conversion rate, AOV, average order value. Oh, you can be rest assured we track those numbers. But we also track how many hours of work we're creating for people with different abilities. We track the donations. We track the number of people we get to touch. So, you measure what matters, but that's got to be tied to your mission. If you're not measuring what's tied to your mission, then it's not really your mission. So, yeah, we measure that.
John, what do you get most excited about working at your own company?
I'm really excited working my company. I love working with my colleagues, and I love working with my colleagues. I love working with my with our colleagues who have different abilities, and that makes me feel good of success. And because I am very fortunate. I am hiring more people. Are hiring more people, employ other people.
I can give you a small anecdote. we have a lot of elected officials come through here. We've had all the members of Congress in our area. So one day the county executive came and he was going to give us a proclamation. Elected officials frequently come with proclamations. And now, to be fair to him, at the time, the same as Steve Ballone, he came and he really did want to learn about what we did. But at the end, he said, I want to present this proclamation to you. And he had his entourage taking photos and videos. And John, stand over there. And I'm going to read it to you and hand it to you. And John said, wait a minute. And he got all his colleagues, got them to stand with him. And Steve read the proclamation and handed it to John. And John said, wait a second. And he turned and he handed it to his colleagues and said, these are the people that deserve this. These are the people that are doing the work, making it happen. As his co-founder and as his dad, I couldn't have been prouder.
Mm.
Yeah, Dad.
Yeah.
I'm very happy. I'm very happy. I'm very excited to work with you, my partner.
Yeah. We're pretty fortunate, huh, Pat?
I'm really cool. I'm really cool, Dad.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy that I work with my colleague Maria. Maria met this year.
Oh, well, she arranges lots of things for us, huh?
Arrange.
All right. So what are other questions you got?
Well, I think that was a great example, though, of naturally, John, you have servant-based leadership. You know, I'm sure you've been taught that from your dad, but you on your own, you were able to, when you received an award that many people would just say, thank you, thank you, thank you. You turned around and said, thank you to those who helped you make it happen. And I think that's a testament to your heart and to your soul and why your company has continued to be so successful.
Well, that's, if you draw our org chart, we're at the top, right? It's our job to set the strategy, the direction, and the culture. But we're also at the bottom.
Yep.
Because it is about servant leadership. And our job is to make sure everybody else can succeed at their job. It's to serve them and make sure they're taken care of. Because if that happens, then everything's going to be fine, right?
Okay, so you may have already answered it, but I'll ask it. Here you have had this success. You've met probably far exceeded, especially at the beginning, your initial monetary metrics of having a sustainable business that has continued and continues to thrive. From a personal perspective today, and John, let me ask you first, on a personal perspective, how do you now measure success in your life?
I'll play your question, Dad.
How do you measure success? How do you know in your life if you're being successful?
My whole life, I really want success. I want to keep growing. I want to keep growing, and I will stay my business. And stay my business, keep my business well, and having more people that we can. I'm very fortunate, and it makes me feel success. And I'll rest my life. As the past years, I want to give a shout out to my speech teacher, Miss Clay. Miss Clay, she is she is very fortunate teacher. Helped me public speaking, and I tell you, Cole, I work so hard to speak clearly. I pronounce my last name. I really cool my whole life. Any better without my teachers like Miss Lee, Dr. Louis Jackson? Any better my whole life could be.
That's pretty cool, huh, pal?
And more point as a success, my father, my partner. I nothing work with him. I never I eat nothing without him.
Well, we got a good partnership. We both lift each other up.
We do, and I really hope I believe my father. He gave me all that strength. I am so proud, and it really makes me feel a proud son.
You're a proud son. Pretty cool, buddy.
Well, John, not many people do this on the show, but you have put me to tears. You are very inspiring. I'm choked up as we wrap up here.
Stop making people
Hey,
cry.
hey, but no, I mean it's awesome. I mean it's such, earlier you were Mark, you were remarking about grit, which was behind us, and we all have our issues, we all have our challenges, we all have our things. Um, but John, you have gone through so much grit, and just I loved it how you said how you appreciated your teacher because you know how important it is to communicate and the effort you've made to be able to clearly say the message. I think that's just, once again, for me, it goes beyond words. And I just want to thank you, the both of you, for being as guests today. How can people, I said, I got to get to that wrap up stage because I'm not going to continue to make it through this year. How can we connect, and how can people connect with you and learn more about what you're doing?
Where can people find us?
Dad,
Go ahead.
I'll go at johnscrazysocks.com.
johnscrazysocks.com. Plus, you can find us on all the social media platforms. Just look for John's Crazy Socks. We do tours. We do, part of what we do now. We do a lot of speaking engagements. John hosts a weekly dance party. You can, find all that there. If you got a business, we make custom socks, which are all the rage because you can do that and then give those to customers or employees. And every time they pull them on, they think about you. So people love that. We have welcome packages that we provide for businesses when they get a new customer or a new employee. So if there's a way we can help you, we want to help you.
Well, once again, John and Mark, thank you so much for being part of the Measure Success podcast.
Well, thank you for having us on. This is wonderful.
Thank you so much.
You want to offer those folks out in that audience some last words of advice?
Yes, you do.
Go ahead.
Follow your heart. Follow your dreams. And work hard. And so you can do.
Yeah, I have some other advice. Listen to the 40 Strategy podcast.
Hey, thanks for throwing that plug in. Thank you, both of you, once again. And as we appreciate you being on our show, we appreciate everything that you're doing. Literally one of the most inspiring. I've recorded now over 200 podcasts, and this has been one of my all-time favorites. So thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Tribute to you, 200 podcasts. And I got to get it right. You have to listen to the Measuring Success podcast.
Yep. Thank you so much. And to everyone who's listening, once again, I hope you've been inspired. As we always like to say, wishing you the very best and measuring your success. Have a great day.
Thank you.